to another episode of Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. My name's Nicole Walters. I'm a director at Bespoke Architects, and I'm about to take you through our inspiring Pinterest board for today. Now, this little project, the Cat's Pink House, this is extraordinary in its material palette. It's got the giant overplayed terrazzo, as the name implies. There is a lot of pink in this house. It's not going to be to everyone's taste, but can I just say, truly extraordinary use of colours and really interesting design solutions. If you can look past some of the colour palette, if it's not your cup of tea, all this pink. Just appreciate, though, the way that the vanity's been inserted into this little nook, and the material wraps up and around, and the mirror sits on top of the splashback. The splashback's the same material as the vanity, with that towel rail at the front. Simplistic in its design, very sculptural. Love it as a guest powder room. I'm not offended by the pink, I should say that. So I'm embracing the pink, but I can appreciate how it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But I just think some of the design elements in this project are, like I say, extraordinary. This is a powder room, what I'm assuming is a dance floor area. So there's a toilet there with a public vanity here. It was more the shape of the door going into the toilet that I really liked, plus the material matches the wall, and so it's seamless when that door is shut. There's no actual door furniture on it. So just a really simple way to conceal a toilet in a sort of a public space, and then, like I say, that public vanity. Now, the kitchen. This is the kitchen here, and it is next level in terms of material and texture and function and shape. The island bench in this really sort of metallic pink with this timber cantilevered top on it. It then leads over to this other timber section that has a dining room table off of it. Again, they've embraced the pink and gone with the pink bench seat and the 3 separate seats over there. But I just really love that as the design solution, the continuity of that kitchen. So we've got our work area, and then our potentially our serving area, and then our eating area. I think it's really a great design if you can get past the color. If you don't like pink, appreciate the functionality of this particular kitchen, and then the extraordinary use of pink in what I can only imagine is a children's play area. I just loved it. I loved it. So I am all for the pink house. Then these apartments, there's 2 apartments, they're side by side and they're different. This is the kitchen in one. I pinned that from the material palette, and this kitchen island bench with its open storage to the dining room, setting in the use of blue and white, the routed handles, this little asymmetrical window design. The window's not centered to the opening, it's not centered to the sink, but somehow it's working really well. And then the opposing kitchen in the other apartment is still got your routed handles. It's very plain coloured, normal timber veneer plywood. And then the colour's actually in the routed handles. So I really enjoyed that, and the use of the coloured splashback, and then it's also the floor material. Again, the materials were the thing that grabbed me for these 2 kitchens. This particular shower, it's exquisite. I believe it comes from this kitchen here, which has got the maroons running through it. Just that skylight, and then the way they've painted it, the shaft down into that shower. It's really intriguing. I very much enjoy that. And then this is that same kitchen looking at the staircase. Now, this is the staircase in one of the apartments. It's got this the routed plywood joinery all the way through it. It's very, very interesting. It's more of a cube. And then the staircase in the other apartment, it's more your traditional staircase with your straight balustrade, your timber treads, your white stringer. The contrast is incredible, and I love both of the design solutions. And then from the same project, these created window seats. They're like an internal window shroud made out of the plywood. They appear regularly throughout this design, and they offer places to sit and look outside. So I do really enjoy those 2. This is the appearance of both of them externally from the street. We can see our car parking here, our different windows, our asymmetrical roof line. What it was for me was the use of timber on the diagonal rather, for the cladding. So it's one material, and a bit like some of the projects we've been talking about in past episodes, it's the way that that material has been applied that gives it a distinct uniqueness. So it's not just timber on the vertical or timber on the horizontal, it's timber on the diagonal, and then the two apartments that are joined in the middle there, the timbers going off on a 45 in different directions for both of those. So just a really interesting composition to the street. The house on pipes, the material palette is incredible. The reuse of the materials inside to outside is really beautiful. I mean, I love this concrete stair. It is quite a dark staircase, so I'm not sure where they're getting their light from. It does look almost like a Teledac finish to those walls, like a really high gloss Venetian plaster finish, which is bouncing the light around, which is very, very helpful. I pinned this one for the external water feature. I mean, I just love that reflection pool and the fact that you step up for it, and then it's got these stepping stones through it. Again, if we're in Australia, if that water depth is over 30 centimetres, you are going to need a pool fence, so just keep that in mind. And then internally, the same property, we're seeing that same concrete, we're seeing the same steel structure referenced that's outside, it's in the staircase internally as well. But I really pinned this one for the design of the light fitting. So it's a pendant light, almost looks like something that a bird would sit on in a bird cage. I just really liked it. It doesn't interrupt the concrete ceiling or the concrete walls. It's a suspended pendant conveniently close to the bed. That is why that one has made the board, and it is in fact on the lighting board for today. Then I had to pin this plywood switch. I haven't seen them before. I don't know if they're available in Australia, but it certainly would work well in a property that was using a form ply for a joinery solution. It would just tie in beautifully with that. So I'm really enjoying that light switch for its materiality. It's not just your plain white or your plain black light switch. So that's why that one's made the board. This little house was interesting. Again, it uses concrete, so concrete was featuring a lot today residentially. I pinned this one for the car parking solution. It's very simple in its appearance. It doesn't have a door. It's just got crazy paving, and then it leads up to the plain monolithic concrete. What is interesting is the scale. It's quite a small opening compared to the height of the wall, but then when we look at the car that they've chosen to photograph in there, it actually almost looks like it's scraping its roof on there. So quite interesting that they would choose to photograph that particular Mercedes four-wheel drive in that particular opening. Now that's, but it was the materials and the design solution around car parking that's made the board. Internally, it did some interesting things with stairs. So this is a timber stair leading up. I really liked the balustrade and the way the handrail attached to that, and the fact it was open tread. They're obviously structurally attached to the wall and then suspended from above those stair treads. The fact that it went over a bathroom, that was really interesting. It kind of got me wondering where that staircase led to. I mean, bathrooms are a fairly private space, and to think that there's a staircase inside a bathroom was an interesting concept. The other staircase within this house is a concrete stair again now. Intriguingly, this is it from the upper level. So it's got the solid concrete balustrade. We can see it on that image there, and it flips over, and they've actually got the television in it, which would bring the television down to a great viewing height for sitting on the couch, which is opposite. So I'm really enjoying that aspect of it, and I like the fact that it's a solid wall down to that staircase. So I pinned it for the materials. Again, quite a dark staircase. The only sort of source lighting seems to be this pendant, which when we look at it from the bottom doesn't even appear to be sent to the stair, but perhaps centered to the balustrade above. So I'm not so sure how successful that particular staircase is in the evening, but I do like the material palette of it. It's obviously got the timber treads, the steel handrail, and then the concrete walls. The use of materials in the kitchen for this project I really liked. It's timber, so it's soft against the concrete. I'm loving what looks to be like a brass pendant light fitting. I just felt that whole kitchen, even the dining room chairs, they're different, but they're the same natural leather. It's the same natural leather that's up on the couch. I mean, there's a beautiful continuity of materials in this project. And then the little vanity in the powder room upstairs has got the timber. We've got a concrete ceiling, but then we've got timber floors, timber wall, timber up the front of that vanity, timber all around inside that area. So it's quite a warm, the timber gives it warmth where the concrete can be quite cold, and a timber floor would certainly give it warmth as a tactile experience to touch rather than being a house of full concrete. So I really did enjoy that, and that's it externally, and I pinned it more for the configuration around that window there, the fact that it's, you know, divided into three, and they're sitting at different transom heights. I thought that was a beautiful window. This particular Baby Point residence, I pinned it for the shower and the bath. There's no glass or door between the two. Again, this is a bath that is going to get wet when that shower's on, but I particularly liked this rail as opposed to the half-height wall that we've talked about before. They've attached a rail to the wall that spans from inside the shower and then through to the bathroom. It's obviously got a bath mat hung over it. It's got some product sitting on it here. It could have some product sitting on it there. So I found that really interesting solution. It works well with the color palette of this bathroom. Obviously, they've got a black end on their shower screen. They've gone for black fittings and fixtures, and then they've added the black horizontal line, which breaks up the terrazzo, and aren't we seeing a lot of terrazzo at the minute? Breaks up that terrazzo look wall. So I just thought that was a really beautiful and elegant design solution. The tree snake house, I just pinned that for a design solution for a sloping site. So again, that's where the slope falls away and the building carries out at the horizontal. Here it is again. Here we can see that bridge entry across. They're actually short stay accommodation. And that's just really interesting. I've really enjoyed that. This particular image, which was that bathroom up there, same project, I pinned for the booth seating at the end of the kitchen. You can see that there where the child's sitting. So it's a upholstered three-sided booth seat. The table can be moved, as can the two chairs up against the kitchen. Don't often see a booth seat off a kitchen like that. So that was an interesting design solution. Again, could come in handy where you've got a space issue for furniture layout. So I really enjoyed that. A couple of other staircases that made the board today. This particular timber stair in HM House, it's sort of got the open timber tread. We can see the sort of the dark grey tiled or panelled wall. But then I really liked this handrail with the LED downlighting underneath it. So it's going to provide a lot of great light to that staircase as opposed to this stair where I was concerned about in the dark. It's got a lot more natural light coming in than this one appears to. But I think this one at nighttime is going to be the easier stair to navigate. And then this one, again, doesn't comply with the Building Code of Australia. You'd have to add glass in to make that a safe balustrade. But again, it's red painted steel. So moving away from your traditional staircase materials and adding a bit of colour, which I'm always a fan of. If you've been watching this channel long enough now, you'll certainly know that I do love a coloured staircase. This project here, the House of Simple Stay, it was more around the roof shape and the two gables facing the front with this interesting chimney structure at the end of one of those. That's why that one made the board. This bathtub, I just loved that bathtub. It's timber. I think that would be a really warm bath to touch when it's full of water to sit in. I just think it would be a really nice experience. Some more stairs here, different stairs again. So they're concrete treads leading up with a glass balustrade. And you can see that underneath that stair, there is a bit of space. Just be mindful when you're cleaning that could be an issue. But I just really liked the materiality of that staircase. It is this house here. So this is it from above. You can see that simple steel handrail here that when we get down to the lower open level, it does have that glass infill. I just think it's really stunning. And the way that this natural light that we're seeing at the end, which is a doorway at the lower level, has got light above, and then we've got natural light coming in through the ceiling above that stair as well. So I really enjoyed that. This is the exterior of that same property. So it's an asymmetrical gable. It does have some interesting materials in it. It's got this open screen above the timber entry door, the expressed steel, and then this sheer wall to boundary on either side. and then the concrete underneath, all this feature lighting. I mean, it's just a beautiful elevation. And then again, their car parking is just behind mesh screens. So we've got some sliding mesh gate this side, folding mesh gate that side, just parking in there. There is no undercover parking. I really just thought that as a composition, and here it is again here, was really strong to present to the street. So I really enjoyed that as a composition and as a group of materials on the front facade. And finally, this particular screen product, it looks like a terracotta screen. The way that they've sort of run it off at angles in front of these balconies is beautiful. It sort of ties down to this solid material at the bottom, and there is a close-up of it there with the steel frame in the middle either side, with the terracotta sort of shingles, I guess, either side. So I really enjoyed that. Initially, I did wonder if it was brick when I first saw this image this morning on a newsletter, but no, it looks to be more of a lightweight material. But again, just really enjoyed that as a facade. It's interesting. It's not flat. It draws your eye up. You are wondering what's going on, and it feels like the screens are almost opening to give you a sort of a sneak view inside that particular residential dwelling. So that was everything of interest that has made the Pinterest boards from across the weekend. If you are looking for some more inspiration, we've got this really interesting house that we've done in Highton. It's another collaboration with Derbyshire Homes. It is Bespoke Derbyshire house number 3. It has got a severe sloping site, so it is a split level home, split in many levels, and does have some really interesting staircases and a beautiful suspended fireplace. So if you do have a few spare minutes, why not check that out? That is also on our YouTube channel. So thank you once again for joining us today for Bespoke Architects Daily Pinup. I look forward to showing you tomorrow what all the inspiring things are from out in the world around us. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.